Hello and welcome or welcome back to House of Astralis. My name is Kayla, and today I will be your cosmic guide as we step into a new month. So, this collective and general reading is timeless, but it is about the month ahead, whether it be September 2025 or any other month. I trust that this message will find you whenever it is coming to you, whenever you stumble across it. I will be reading a little bit from the Ritual Workbook planner that I have for September, only because it is eclipse season as well. So we have two eclipses coming with the full and new moon, so one each. And I just want to read a little bit about it, maybe even some transits here that are happening this month. So, of course, feel free to skip ahead. I will put timestamps in the description down below. And I wanted to say just before we start, of course, this is a general and collective reading. So please take what resonates and leave the rest behind for someone else. And maybe it won't make sense now. Maybe it'll make sense in a little bit. Either way, just trust your own intuition and your own guidance on this. So, firstly, to start us off, I will be reading some of the transits that are happening before we get to the eclipse is and the full and new moon. On September 1st, Saturn, so as soon as we step into the new month, Saturn continues its retrograde loop by slipping back into Pisces, where it will remain until February 14th, 2026. Valentine's Day, how lovely. This transition marks the final act of Saturn in Pisces before its full arrival in Aries. Saturn, often known as the cosmic taskmaster, governs responsibility, discipline, and structure. When retrograde, Saturn presses pause on external progress and allows for deep internal review. With the planet of karmic accountability back in the fluid emotional waters of Pisces, we're once again asked to reconcile dreams with duties and to shore up emotional boundaries that may have softened over the summer. Saturn's brief stint in Aries since May 24th has given us a glimpse into what's coming, a future that demands bold independence, action, and leadership. But Saturn retrograde in Aries is a tough teacher. It tempers the usual spark of Aries with sombering questions. Are your ambitions grounded in reality? Are you leading with purpose or ego? This preview may have come with stops and starts, especially for those with Aries placements who were eager to forge ahead but found themselves held back by old fears or unfinished business. As Saturn retreats back into Pisces, there's an invitation to close emotional and spiritual chapters with compassion before charging into a new cycle. Saturn retrograde in Pisces can feel like wading through fog, but it offers essential healing. This is a time to reflect on how you've been managing boundaries, not just with others, but with yourself. Have you sacrificed structure for escapism? Have your dreams grown, but your commitment to them wavered? With Saturn back in the mutable water sign, it's time to revisit spiritual practices, artistic goals, and personal responsibilities that may have felt overwhelming or unclear earlier in the year. The final months of 2025 ask for emotional closure and spiritual accountability, setting the tone for a more decisive and empowered Saturn and Aries era to come. Which I also do have a video on Saturn and Aries, I think. Pretty sure. Community involvement is another significant aspect of Lamas. Organizing or participating in a local food drive, contributing to a community garden, or simply sharing your harvest, literal or metaphorical, with friends and family can enrich your celebration. Reflect on your personal journey through journaling or meditation. Consider what you have cultivated in your life this year and what you hope to recap in the months to come. Setting intentions for the remainder of the year can help focus your energies and prepare you for the next phase of your life's cycle. Llamas is a multifaceted festival that bridges the ancient and the contemporary, inviting us to both give thanks for what we have received and prepare diligently for the future. Its celebration under the bold and bright sign of Leo in 2025 encourages a particularly vibrant observance. promising a fruitful blend of tradition and personal growth. As you honor this first harvest, let the historical roots and modern practices inspire a rich and rewarding celebration. Next, we have Uranus retrograde. On September 6th, Uranus begins its next retrograde cycle stationed at 1 degree Gemini. For a few short weeks, we'll continue experiencing the early tremors of Uranus in Gemini, sudden insights, rapid technological shifts, and breakthroughs in communication. But as the planet moves backwards into Taurus in November, that forward momentum will pause. Uranus retrograde is less about external change and more about inner disruption. It's a time to re-examine where we've resisted necessary growth and where rebellion or detachment may have been masking fear of vulnerability or uncertainty. In Gemini, this reflection is mental and communicative. Our ideas and how we express them and what information we consume are all under review. When Uranus moves back into Taurus on November 7th, the retrograde takes on a different texture, which also on the 5th, right before this, is a full moon. Yes, I believe it's a full moon on the 5th. So then we got a full moon, and then Uranus goes into Taurus, and things are pausing, just how it said here. It'll pause. So when Uranus moves back into Taurus on November 7th, the retrograde takes on a different texture. Here, the focus shifts from ideas and innovation to the foundations of our lives: money, values, resources, and routines. Uranus and Taurus has already shaken up global economies, digital finance, and even how we define security over the last 7 years. As it retraces its steps, we're being asked to consider what old patterns of comfort or material attachment are holding you back. What outdated definitions of success or security need to be rewritten? This is a time to rewire your relationship with change on a physical, tangible level, and to trust that instability can lead to surprising new forms of stability. Uranus retrograde across these two signs is a rare opportunity to reflect on how both our thoughts and our habits support or inhibit personal freedom. Gemini asks us to rethink how we process and share knowledge, while Taurus demands that we revisit the structures we've built our lives around. If Uranus direct is like lightning striking the tower, retrograde is a blueprint review. What do you want to rebuild and how? This cycle invites quiet rebellion, not through loud upheaval, but through the small inner shifts that slowly set the stage for authentic, aligned transformation. When Uranus turns direct early February 2026, we'll be better prepared to move forward with ideas and innovations that actually support the future we want to create. So, yeah, I guess for the rest of the year until February, it's time to really look at those blueprints and get even clear about what isn't and is working for you so that by the time it turns direct, you'll be better prepared. You'll be able to set things off and be able to really maybe get things going even more, I suppose. I did want to revisit this page on Saturn real quick because Saturn is also staying in Pisces until about mid-February. So I assume this means it's going direct again, and unless it stays retrograde, but I don't think so. Either way, it's like we got two planets going direct again in February. So big time in February, I suppose. So now I want to read a little bit about the total full moon lunar eclipse coming up. And I'm not going to read all of it, it's just a quick snapshot because I will be revisiting this in the full moon video. I just want to, if you're a month ahead, we're talking about eclipse season and stuff. So I think this will be important regardless of wherever you are at, because maybe if you're in the future, you can think and look back to this eclipse season and see what happened for you. So on September 7th, we experience a total full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, a powerful culmination point in the ongoing Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle that began in late 2024. Eclipses are celestial catalysts shaking up the areas of life ruled by the signs they fall in. While solar eclipses usher in bold beginnings, Lunar eclipses often bring dramatic endings, revelations, and emotional turning points. A total lunar eclipse amplifies these effects, pulling us into deep reflection and forcing us to let go of what no longer serves. The veil thins, truths come to light, and we're given the cosmic nudge to move forward without what's been holding us back. It can feel like a wave of emotion washing over us, softening boundaries, awakening empathy, and dissolving illusions. The eclipse challenges us to confront where we've been escaping rather than engaging. It's a wake-up call to release emotional baggage, outdated beliefs, or patterns of martyrdom and avoidance. For some, this eclipse may bring the climax of a creative, spiritual, or healing journey that began months ago. For others, it may be the push needed to surrender control and trust in the flow of life. Wow. And I'll leave this here if you want to read the rest. But again, I will be revisiting this for the full moon in Pisces video coming up before September 7th. But yeah, looks like emotions may run a little high. But with the new moon in Virgo, there will be a solar eclipse on September 21st. As the sun and moon align in Virgo for the solar eclipse, we're offered a cosmic reset, one that invites us to start fresh in areas of wellness, work, purpose, and devotion. Solar eclipses signify beginnings, but they often arrive disguised as disruptions. Kind of think about the tower if you're familiar with the tarot. It's a new beginning, but it'll look like chaos while you're in there in the rubble. Under this Virgo eclipse, themes of clarity, healing, and discernment are activated. Virgo, ruled by Mercury, governs the systems and habits that keep our lives running smoothly. This eclipse is like a cosmic audit, highlighting where your routines, boundaries, and intentions need recalibration. It's a powerful time to begin new practices that support long-term growth, especially in your physical health, spiritual hygiene, or day-to-day environment. Think of this eclipse as a chance to align your external world with your internal truth, one mindful choice at a time. So, yeah, double eclipse. And this talks about the Virgo and Pisces axis. So if you have any placements that are on or near these degrees or in those signs or any of the mutable signs, then you could feel it the most intensely, but it's a spectrum, of course. It's never always going to be the extreme ends of things. And again, the degrees, the placements, that's what truly matters as well. This is the second to last eclipse in the Virgo Pisces series, and it carries the weight of culmination and transformation. Damn. So we're not even done. We're almost there. Let the eclipse be a moment to reconnect with what truly matters, not through idealistic fantasy, but through conscious, committed action. Where are you ready to refine, recommit to, or completely restart? The answers may not come in flashes of insight, but rather in quiet realizations that whisper through your daily life. Listen closely. The new path is unfolding, not all at once, but step by deliberate step. So, yes, September is a very heavy transit season. And again, this may have nothing to do with September when you come across this, but I did want to cover it because all of this will reflect. And like I said, if you come and watch this even a year from now, a couple months from now, it'll be important to like really see as your future self now, like how all of this happened for you. And for me, Mars entered Libra and I definitely felt that. I can say that. Mars is in my natal Libra, so I had what's called a Mars return. So it was just kind of revisiting a lot of the themes that Mars and Libra talk about in my chart, in my placements. So that's why I kind of wanted to read this as well. Um, Again, timestamps will be down below if this is not your thing, but I personally I would have wanted to learn this, and I did in the previous workbook. So, on September 22nd, Mars, the planet of action, drive, and desire, returns to one of its traditional homes, Scorpio. As Scorpio's ancient ruler, Mars operates with intensity, precision, and emotional depth in this fixed water sign. This 6-week transit fuels our inner fire in quieter, more strategic ways, less about explosive action and more about power moves beneath the surface. Mars in Scorpio asks us to connect with intention, to pursue our passions with laser focus, and to trust our instincts. It's a transit of persistence, resilience, and transformation where we're not afraid to go deep or get uncomfortable if it means uncovering truth and claiming personal power. The timing of this ingress is especially potent as it happens on the autumn equinox, a day of celestial balance between light and dark. As we cross the threshold into a new season, Mars in Scorpio intensifies the mood and shifts our collective energy inward. Where the equinox typically encourages reflection and alignment, Mars now supercharges that moment with emotional momentum. This day could feel like a turning point, especially if you've been waiting for the courage to initiate or release something meaningful. It's a powerful initiation to plant seeds of intention that will grow through the darker half of the year. Throughout this transit, expect heightened emotional awareness, stronger instincts, and an increased desire for control or clarity, especially in the areas that have felt uncertain or vulnerable. Power struggles may surface, but so can deep healing if you're willing to confront what lies beneath the surface. Mars in Scorpio isn't afraid of shadows, it thrives in them. Use this time to cut through illusions, deepen your commitments, and go all in on what truly matters. This isn't light and breezy motivation, it's soul driven determination built to endure. So buckle in. I suppose that's what it's saying. It's saying buckle in. And of course, that's when Libra season starts on the 22nd. This moment marks Mabon, the second harvest festival in the Wheel of the Year, and a time to give thanks for what has come to fruition while preparing for the darker months ahead. Just as nature begins to slow down and turn inward, Libra invites us to find equilibrium in our own lives. It's a time to assess what's working and what's not, to recalibrate our relationships, and to bring beauty and harmony into the everyday. This is your month ahead. Lots of big transits happening, lots of change, but lots of healing as well. So, even if it's tough at first, I think we just have to be staying strong and just waiting for the new foundation to come up. Sometimes we have to go through the hard things to get the beauty from it. Awesome. But now that's all out of the way, we can get started with your month ahead reading. So if you've stayed this long, let me know down below, comment, because I don't know how many of the viewers actually like the snippets that I read or if it actually helps them. So definitely let me know, please. I will still do it, but if the majority of the comments are like, "No, girl, stop doing this," then I'll take that. But as far as I know, everybody's fine with it. So to start us off, I asked for how this collective can get in touch with their intuition. And we have 25: balance, intuition, and practicality. Intuition and practicality are partners. Your practical side, as well as your past experiences, deserve your attention and respect. By balancing your sixth sense guidance with practicality now, you create a grounded and ideal path forward. How can your intuitive insights be implemented in practical ways? One of the practical ways I do intuition is parking spaces. Live in SoCal, and when I lived in San Diego, the parking spaces in certain areas were very hard to come by. Even the place where we moved to, parking is sometimes a hassle. So for me, I like to use my intuition to get a parking space, to ask for guidance about getting a good parking space for me. So that's one of the practical ways I use it. Another one would be, what do I want to eat? What can I eat? What should I eat? What does my body want? And that's really about going inwards too, because I deal with some food sensitivities, food allergies, and so sometimes I can't eat whatever I want. And if I'm having a particular flare up, I've got to make sure to eat a little lighter, easy, not so heavy or anything crazy. And that's when it's helpful to listen to my body. And next, for the theme, for your focus point this month, we've got number 42: surrender. So, I mean, that's kind of straightforward there, right? Surrender to just the flow of things, surrender to having to control a lot of it. Um, Be like the bird, just spread your wings and let the wind take you. And this isn't saying to not participate in your co-creation. You have to meet it in the middle. But if you're so resistant and so heavy about it looking a certain way, sometimes things may not be as easy. So just go with the least resistance, and that's flow. And I did ask what area of your life this may appear in. Like, what area do you have to surrender to? What area do you have to just be in flow? And I've got the second house here. The second house is all about your value, your money, your material, finances, physical body, even um, earnings, financial loans, and lending, all of the things that you value. And it doesn't have to be material based, it doesn't have to be financially based, but value. It is ruled by Taurus and Venus. So it's really how can you surrender to love? It could be, but just practicality and not being in so in control. How to surrender from the go, go, go into steadiness, into calmness, into slowness. So think about your values. Ask yourself, what areas can you release control in? What areas can you surrender to? And how can you put your best foot forward? Okay, first up, we have what to leave behind and what negative energies to face. What can you leave behind? We've got the Ten of Pentacles, and immediately I was drawn to the roots that are kind of coming up here, the groundedness and having to be so stable. And I think this is just talking about being so fixed, so set in your ways. And this is why it's drawing me back to the surrender card here. So what can you leave behind? You can leave behind the strictness, the rigidity of providing, of planting yourself somewhere because this is what you think you want, this is what you think you need. So if you plant yourself in here, then you don't give yourself the chance to move and to let the wind take you and to let the flow happen. So I think this, for me, I'm being drawn to leave behind all the rigidity, leave behind something that your ego thinks this is what you want, this is the way. But if you surrender to it and not let your ego overtake you, then this is when the roots can loosen up a little bit. You can still be grounded, but still let the wind kind of shape you, still go with the flow in some way. So that's what I'm getting to leave behind. Yeah, it's like the dogma or even the patriarchy, honestly. I am this, so I have to do this. I am a man, so I have to provide for everybody. That's the patriarchy saying that, and you don't have to fill that role. You don't have to agree with it. S- Take yourself out of the preconceived notions that other people or society have placed on you and create your own reality, your own way of living. And the negative energies to face, we have the Page of Cups. Okay, so this one was interesting to me because with the page being, the more youthful card, are you being immature somewhere? Are you emotionally immature? If there's a place in your life where you're being immature and not facing something, being juvenile about a situation, emotionally, especially, then it's time for you to face that and see, is there something you're avoiding by being so immature? Maybe this is like, are you avoiding the responsibility of having to take care of yourself and the people around you? Are you avoiding having to have these conversations? Are you avoiding kind of doing the hard thing or like the hard work or staying put in something that's causing you more mental anguish, emotional anguish because you don't want to do the additional work of doing some stepping out of the dogma and the ties that hold you back. So you'd rather stay there unhappy than to move on and do your own thing, pave your own way. This is inviting you to really look at where you're being immature, not trusting yourself, not listening to your own dreams, literally or metaphorically. We've got what to prioritize and what positive energies to embrace. Okay, so immediately two new things coming. Two brand new starts, new opportunities here. You really are being invited to prioritize the grounding. I'm just going so deep into like the groundingness, the nature here. That's just what feels super right to say. Um, Lots of themes here that we'll get into just about the Taurus and just grounding, making sure that you're level-headed and nurturing yourself. So prioritizing health as well, your physical body, prioritizing the rest so that things don't accumulate and get so bad that you're forced to listen, and this can sometimes show up as sickness. Lots of things here. So, really taking the time to listen to your body now and prioritize it. Prioritize your health, prioritize nature, honestly, your spirit, prioritize your spiritual well being, and you have some positive new energies to embrace here. This is a fresh start, new beginnings here in this upcoming month. Being drawn to the foot here, like the anatomy part, like maybe this is a new, maybe these two are connected, like the new opportunity, new health regarding this part, your foot, your knee, your shin, whatever it looks like. With that being said, just embrace the newness, surrender. That's why, right? You got to surrender. If you are so caught up being stuck in this right here, stuck in the ground, not willing to move, you're not going to have the opportunity to do something else. You're not going to have the opportunity because it may not look like what you thought it should, and then you might miss it. So, this is why the surrendering is just so important, to just have faith and just trust that it'll work out. And how can you better organize your life? We've got slow and steady. Take it easy. Be thorough about what you want. This is being deliberate. Remember, going back to those deliberate steps here. Take the time that you need to really organize. Groundedness, Taurus, like this is all very much Taurus coming up. Virgo is very analytical. The Virgo is very deliberate and organizing things. So take the time to just chill. Not chill in that sense of like do nothing, but take it easy. If you don't know what you want to do yet, or if there's a new way you can organize something, take that time to better organize your life. Really think on it, really take a step back, get a higher perspective here. And with the Queen of Wands, this is confidence. This is just making it happen. Even with the balance, right? We've got typically yang energies and the typically yin energies. That it's just about being able to bring them together and get what you intend done. So organize it. How can you have better confidence in yourself, in your life to get things done? How can you have better confidence in yourself to just get the organization done, really. Have confidence that you can make it happen, that you are the magician. And next, what you can look forward to and the challenges you may encounter. So I love this. You can look forward to strength, maybe even a helping hand or two, something or someone to really come in and help you with any struggles. And just knowing that you can do this, you can get it done. You're not all alone. You have the strength to surrender and to grow. You have the strength to really be okay after it. These two, you have the strength to surrender. You have the strength to do hard things and to let it go so that it no longer controls you. But some challenges that you might face here, we have the Ten of Cups and the Empress. So, going back to being able to take care of yourself and just chilling out for a moment, this is the Empress. She's able to do that. And so, maybe this is your challenge of you not being able to. Like, there's some resistance there. Again, being so rooted deeply into an idea that you have for yourself or whatever it may be. So the challenge you might face is being able to surrender and take care of yourself and your body here. But you're being invited to do so. Like you have the strength to do it. Another challenge is the Ten of Cups here. And I am drawn immediately to the Harmony elixir. When you change your routine a little bit, or when you choose to surrender, it might feel terrible. You might feel like, what am I doing? But you have to remember that you're strong enough to get through this. But there can be some disharmony there, some. anxiety even about something new or something that you can't control. But you know, practically, you can't control everything. So it would be a lot easier for you to just let things go that you can't control so that there can be harmony, so that you can learn from that wisdom and maybe even be a little happier because you're not trying to control everything. And I'm saying this as a control freak. You know, I'm learning, I'm getting better, and it really has lifted a lot of weight off my shoulders of not being so no, it has to go this way, it has to go this way, or I have to control it. It has to go my way or the highway, you know? So really being able to let that go, I felt a lot more satisfaction. Emotional burdens have sort of left, and I don't have to worry about a lot of things. And I'm glad I don't have to control everything, right? I'm glad I don't have to bring the sun up every morning. I don't have to put it down and bring the moon up. Things just flow as they will, and I have to learn with that. And I have to learn how to flow with that. So, good luck. Your challenge here is to be emotionally fulfilled by not being so in control. And control is just a big thing to let go of, and I totally get that. I don't know why we as a society had to control everything. Could be a lot of things. I mean, if we go to our school systems, let's say, and if you don't get it perfectly by the rubric, then you don't get a good grade most often. So then that instills in us it has to be perfect. But we can't let perfection get in the way of good. We can't let perfection get in our way of living our life, and we can't let perfection get in the way of the flow of letting things be as they may. Sometimes it just be like that, and we can't always do something about it. So it's time to really release things. Release, I said, relinquish and release the things that are holding us back, and it's control. We can choose to fight our destinies and make life look the way our egoic mind thinks it should look. You know, just like this. Our ego thinks we have to be planted this way. We have to be so deeply rooted into a certain idea. And that can hinder us. So we can do that, or we can choose to accept the will of your spirit, which already knows what is best for you, and we can surrender to the flow of time so that our ego doesn't have to get in the way and feel like it's protecting us by being so in control. And maybe that's part of the inward work that's you're being invited to do, or at least astrologically being invited to do with the readings that I did, it's just talking a lot about the inward work, going inward and doing that instead of focusing on the external until these planets go direct. And that's when it's time to go external because you've already done all the work now. You're getting a head start, a big, big head start. So I would definitely be able to advise taking time to really get clear, take care of yourself and your body, your health, firstly, and let things flow to you. When you're the Empress, when you are in the Empress state, things flow. She doesn't really have to try too hard. She knows what she wants and she does the work to do it, but she's not going to be so hyper fixated or trying to control the outcome, control the how it'll come to her. She just is. So, really making sure to embody this part of yourself as well. Awesome. So, this is your month ahead. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see that you can really get started on some personal work and dive deeper into the astrology if you're interested and see how that looks for you. See how you can really take this time to your advantage and do that inner work, some shadow work here. And with that, this on the Ten of Pentacles, this kind of looks like the Kabbalah. So it's like the tree of life. And I went down my own rabbit hole with that, and essentially I'm doing shadow work, you know, or just really helping myself. And therapy even is a good resource. So if you're able to do any of that, it's really shadow work is just like the term that's being used for it, but it's just getting to the bottom of some things for yourself and see why you feel like you have to control it all the time. What's the worst case scenario? What do you feel like would happen if you really control? And really just learning about yourself that way so that, oh, my left ear just started ringing. So maybe someone needed to hear that. And it's not saying you have to go down the tree of death or the tree of life, or it's called the clip off. So you don't have to do any of that really. It's just about, unless you want to, but your own magic and your own ways of dealing with things and learning about yourself that way. Therapy. So yeah, good luck. It's not easy, of course, but you've got this. I have lots of trust and faith in you. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe. The engagement really does help. And like I said, are you interested in the readings that I do in the beginning of these? Please comment that below too. And I hope you have a fantastic month ahead whenever you view this, because I trust that this is for your highest and best good, regardless of when you see this. So thank you so much and have a great day. I can't wait to read for you again next time.